The species extinctions.
Hurricane.
Chemical leak.
Seas are rising. The Great Barrier Reef is dying.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money.
To withdraw from the Paris Agreement.
With this move, the president is betraying the trust of the American people.
Growing problem of plastic pollution.
We need to do something about climate change.
And climate change.
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 Climate change is a massive problem. A problem so big, we're starting to see the effects of it in our everyday lives. With a problem like this, most of us try to do everything we can to help, like taking shorter showers, recycling, or switching to a metal straw. But there's a huge secret that the fossil industry doesn't want you to know.
Climate change is the warming of the planet and changed weather patterns caused by greenhouse gases that trap heat in the atmosphere. In order to save the environment from irreversible damage, we have to get to the root of the problem. And it may not be what you think.
Fossil fuel companies are destroying the environment at an alarmingly high rate, rather than the minuscule amount of damage you do by taking a long shower. Research shows that just 100 companies are responsible for 71% of global carbon emissions, and just 20 corporations are responsible for a third of all global carbon emissions.
If it's the big companies causing all the real damage, why is the blame so often placed on the consumer? Because it's easier for the fossil fuel companies. They don't have to change if they aren't seen as the problem.
To find out more, we interviewed some students to find out their opinions on climate change. Do you think climate change is a problem?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
What do you think you can do to help the environment?
Recycle, I don't know.
Pick up trash when you see it and don't leave it behind.
Recycle, not throw away your trash, and make sure that if you're drinking plastic bottles or anything like that, to recycle and not throw them away, because animals can choke on them, and that's how most animals are actually going extinct, because they're just dying from plastic that people have just been throwing in the ocean.
Try and reduce your carbon emissions by taking a bike or a bus to school or work.
Most people know that climate change is a problem, but they don't know why or what they can do to help. Remember this, it's not the bottle littered on the side of the road, it's the resources that it took to manufacture the bottle. 3 huge industries are responsible for climate change: the fashion industry, the agriculture/meat industry, and the oil and gas industry. Let's start with the fashion industry, which is responsible for 10% of global carbon emissions. Fast fashion is the term used to describe rapidly produced high volumes of very cheap clothing. Social media and fashion trends have forced people to buy extremely cheap clothing only to wear it a couple times before the item wears out or goes out of trend.
Not only does the clothing itself contribute to landfill waste, the factories that make it often rely on child labor. It takes over 1,800 gallons of water to produce a single pair of jeans. Do you know what fast fashion is?
No.
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 Have you ever shopped at a fast fashion store?
No.
I don't think so.
No. The second largest polluting industry is the agriculture industry. So we're talking about food and livestock production. Meat production is the leading cause of deforestation. According to a leading report on the United Nations panel on climate change, agriculture, deforestation, and other land use generates about a third of human greenhouse gas emissions.
The oil and gas industry is by far the worst for the environment. Oil companies are responsible for 18% of industrial carbon emissions according to the International Energy Agency, and they're expected to grow by 30% if we don't take action.
Companies like ExxonMobil have not only known about climate change for over a quarter century, they actually lied about it getting worse. Even as their own scientists warned that the continued extraction of fossil fuels could cause catastrophic consequences, the oil companies pumped billions of dollars into thwarting government action.
To save face, businesses will often do very small things, like produce a line of clothing that's made from 20% recycled materials, or a t-shirt that says, "Love the Earth." But don't fall for it. A lot of brands do this to try to satisfy the people who are trying to be more environmentally friendly to try to gain their business. This is called greenwashing. The clothing is just as harmful, but with a green label. Fossil fuel companies do this too.
So what can you do? The biggest thing to help the environment is to stop buying. By purchasing new items, you're not only supporting the polluting and unethical companies that make them and allowing them to stay in business, but you're also wasting the existing items and allowing them to go into a landfill. When you buy an item from a company, you're telling them that you want more of this, that you like their products. Don't ever show an unethical company any type of support. Solution: buy secondhand, or just don't buy any new things at all.
The solution to our bigger problem, however, is not as simple. These major businesses are really hard to influence, but you can contact the United States Environmental Protection Agency at EPA.org, and you can sign petitions to help at change.org. You can also email the companies directly and stop shopping from them until they change.
These companies are killing us and the entire planet. They're completely aware of it. This is not an accident. This is not natural. This is an extermination.
Companies dump millions of gallons of oil into the ocean, spew millions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and cause 150 species to go extinct every single day. Yet we're concerned about the plastic straws?